I like cheese. In fact, I like it so much, it is written in my channel's description. So, it felt fitting doing a run where I cheese all of the bosses in Dark Souls 1. Naturally though, not all the Dark Souls 1 bosses can be cheesed via glitches or exploits, so I will be providing some easy strategies for dealing with those bosses in particular. And before we begin, I seriously want to thank everybody for the support you've showed me on my latest video. I reached my goal of 1,000 subscribers, and it is all thanks to you guys watching the videos, commenting, and subscribing. We are getting closer and closer to 2,000 subs, so if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to the channel and help me reach the channel's next milestone. Let's make it happen, guys, and without further ado, let's jump straight into this. As usual, I picked the most appropriate name, picked the thief class for the master key, and took the firebombs as my gift. Upon waking up in the undead asylum, I was immediately ready to cheese the tutorial boss. As soon as the asylum demon showed up, I unloaded my firebombs on him, and as you can see, the black bombs do massive damage. So it only took 5 of them to bring down our first boss. After getting the Estus and the keys from Oscar, I was off to Lordran. Upon arriving in Firelink Shrine, I ran through the Undead Burg, made a perfect barrel jump, and entered my next foe's arena. Before triggering the fight, make sure you kill the 2 hollows on the platform directly above the entrance. As for the Taurus Demon, it may have taken a while, but after a lot of patience and a couple of unlucky attempts, I was able to get him in the right position. He understood that he stood no chance against a Chad like me and decided to jump off, unaliving himself. After a quick chat with Sunbro over here, I got roasted by a flying chicken, showed everybody my sick parkour moves, reached Lordran's sexiest man alive, and bought the War Pick. Definitely one of the weapons of all time. After upgrading it to +2, I was ready to fight the gargoyles. After luring one of the hollows from downstairs, I aligned myself with the fog gate as much as I could, and once the hollow reached my position, I parried him and riposted with my fists. And as you can see, my character clipped through the fog gate. I then sprinted towards the closest bonfire, rested, got back to the fog wall, and entered the arena. By doing all these things, I activated the boss fight without entering it, and this causes the first gargoyle to freeze, making him very easy to kill. Unfortunately, the second gargoyle will still be active, so you need to take him out normally. Also, don't use the war pick like I did, go for a decent weapon, and this fight will be a lot easier. With the gargoyles out of the way, I rang the first bell. With the 10,000 souls I got from killing the gargoyles, I bought 100 large arrows from Andre, reached the Dark Root Basin, killed the crystal lizard for a twinkling titanate for later, dropped down here to pick up the longbow, gave Lothric his canonical treatment, arrived in Blighttown because I had a giant hot spider lady to cheese. As soon as I entered the boss, I jumped up this spot, as queelag won't be able to reach me with her attacks here, and started loading my arrows onto her. I then rang the second bell of awakening, went on to buy 99 firebombs and the residence key from Yulia, picked up the basement key, arrived at the entrance for Copper Demon, positioned myself as shown in the video, aimed for the spot right here using the bow, and starting throwing my firebombs. If you do this correctly, you should see a health bar appearing. I kept throwing my firebombs until the Capra Demon finally went to meet God. I then used all of my souls to reach 20,000 souls and bought the Crest of Artorias from Andre. I then got the Cat Covenant ring and wanted to cheese Sif, but she was way out of reach, so I had to put this fight on hold for now. Before going to Sen's Fortress, I picked up the Grasscrest Shield for better stamina regen, and it was time to enter Sen's funny little kink house. After surviving all the deadly traps and boulders, I cheesed the big boy while he was trying to hit me with his big balls. Picked up the cage key for later and entered the Iron Golem's arena. I then waited for him to come towards me, baited his grab attack, and as soon as he tried to grab me, I pressed R1. This caused my character to bounce back, clipping through the wall and exiting the arena while the boss fight was still active. I then reached the top of the tower where the ball-throwing giant once was and started shooting arrows like there was no tomorrow, ultimately killing the Iron Golem. Upon arriving in Anor Londo, I used my 160 IQ to get the painting guardians to fall to their deaths, showed off once again my parkouring skills, got past everyone's favorite archers, lighted the bonfire, used the staircase skip like a pro, opened the chest behind the giant blacksmith to pick up the Hawk ring, took a detour back to Andre to upgrade my bow to at least +5, got back to the entrance of Sif's arena, jumped over this brick, equipped the Hawk ring and unleashed the full power of cheese. Easy peasy, extra cheesy. Time for Snorlax and Pikachu. The same strategy I used against the gargoyles works with Ornstein and Smaug as well. Lure the Silver Knight towards the entrance of the boss, try to be as close to the fog gate as you can, parry the Silver Knight's attack, and if you did this correctly, the boss's soundtrack should start playing and the 2 health bars should appear. Run back to the bonfire, rest, enter the fog wall, and you should have Ornstein and Smaug completely freezed up. Go for Ornstein as Smaug is a lot easier to take out in the second phase, and once Ornstein is no longer with us, just fight Smaug like you usually do. I can't stress this out enough, guys. Use a decent upgraded weapon and not whatever I'm using in this footage. Another victory in the bag. Once Slim and Fatso were defeated, I went on to pick my prize. The Lord Vessel, obviously. I then traveled to the Demon Ruins where I stole someone's sister's clothes, and apparently the Ceaseless Discharge didn't really like that. This one is a classic. Once the fire has been activated, sprint back to the fog gate. Wait for Ceaseless to follow you. He will do a jump attack that will cause him to freeze up, and 4 hits should do the trick. I then used my bow and arrows to kill the worm to get access to the next bonfire. I traveled to the depths to get the large ember and to free Laurentius, which in all honesty I should have done this way earlier, but oh well, what is done is done. I upgraded my bow to +7, got back to the demon ruins, and I forgot to place the Lord Vessel, so I warped back to Firelink, placed the damn thing, returned to the ruins to defeat the Fire Sage demon. Upon entering the arena, I baited the demon towards this corner. Stayed as close as I could to the wall, and this should get the fire demon to get stuck on these branches. Once he is stuck, just start unleashing your arrows on him. Before moving forward though, I returned to the Giant's blacksmith to buy and upgrade the Giant's halberd to +2 because I figured it was time to get an actual weapon at this point. Bought some large titanite shards and used them to upgrade my bow to +9. Went back to the demon ruins. It was time now to cheese the centipede demon. 2 hands your shield. As soon as you enter the arena, go towards the left corner. Wait for it to come towards you. It may take a while. You need to bait this grab attack. As soon as he grabs you, smash R1, L1, R2, and L2 simultaneously. Once he lets you go, he should clip through the wall, and if you wait a few seconds, he will fall to his death. Next stop, Lost Izalith, where I picked up the soul of a great hero and lighted the bonfire. Unfortunately, I messed up the fight for the Battle of Chaos and had to defeat it normally. I will leave a link in the video description for a guide on how to cheese the best boss in Soulsborne history. I then took a detour to the Giant Blacksmith once again to upgrade my halberd to +5 and my bow to +10. I traveled back to Sen's Fortress to pick up the Slumbering Dragon Crest ring. After that, I went to the catacombs. And Pinwheel is one of those bosses where there isn't a real cheese strategy, but at this point in the game, he is a practical, unfunny joke. After getting tricked by Patches, I picked up the Skull Lantern, returned to Firelink Shrine, made my best impression of an egg. A bird came to pick me up for some reason, and brought me to the Undead Asylum, where I traded the Skull Lantern with Snuggly in order to obtain the Fog Ring. I bought some more arrows from Andre, returned to the Tomb of Giants to defeat Danny the Nito. So here are the strats for him. Equip the Fog Ring and the Slumbering Dragon Crest Ring in order to prevent the Skellies from waking up. As soon as you enter the arena, immediately go towards your right to get Nito stuck on the stalagmites. And at this point, you can start shooting your arrows at him. The only thing you need to worry about is his red blade attack. And with Nito out of the equation, only 2 Lord Souls remained. Seath was my next victim. He is another one of those bosses that don't really have a cheese strategy. You can use pyromancies to practically one-shot him, but having already killed the Battle of Chaos, I could no longer get Quilana's spawn. Instead, I went for the easy strategy of choosing his tentacle on my right, focusing only on that, and without too much hassle, the Crystal Meth Dragon overdosed into the afterlife. I then killed the Hydra, freed the Dusk from the Golden Crystal Golem, asked her about her OnlyFans,
I shall follow thy wishes.
returned to the Duke's archives to get the broken pendant, traveled to New Londo ruins, got the key to the seal, and I could not find a valuable cheese tactic for 4 kings either, so I just DPS'd them to death. If you tackled them towards the end game, they aren't a problem at all, they're pretty easy. I did though have the 5th one to spawn for like the first time in my life, cause my damage wasn't all that great. My build has been all over the place in this run. Time to enter the DLC. I used the Black Knight halberd dropped by the Knight in the Tomb of the Giants to deal with the Sanctuary Guardian. Before moving on with the DLC, I went back to free Griggs and bought Fall Control off him. But I didn't have enough intelligence to use it, and I was like, screw farming. So what I did, I changed the order of the souls of a lost undead I had and placed it as second, right under the Estus flask, then went on to the drop prompt for my large arrows, selected all 947 of them, but then cancelled, went to system on the main menu, selected brightness, pressed X and R1 or A and RB on Xbox at the same time, and since I did it correctly, I had two menus, one on top of the other. I pressed quit and selected 947, tapped OK, and profit. I leveled up my intelligence as well as some other stats, as you can see from the footage. I did all of this in hopes I could get the Artorias skip, which consists in luring one of the stone giants to follow you all the way to the elevator just outside of Artorias' arena, get the big guy to fall down the elevator pit, follow him down as fast as you can and slide off his head, and once at the bottom, quitting out before getting the "you died" prompt. Unfortunately, I could not get this to work for some reason, and trust me, I tried. I'm doing all of this for you. I killed Chester to obtain my helmet as a consolation prize because I was about to give up when I found an actual viable strategy to perform this skip. I only needed 46 endurance. Problem is, I only had 17. So one journey to the bank later, I upgraded my endurance to 67. And the strategy consists in meme rolling down the pit. And in order to meme roll, or air roll if you prefer, you need to have between 25 and 29% equip load. This is in the remastered version. If you do this correctly, this should happen. Now it was just a matter of returning to Ulisil Township, because as you can see, I am now on the other side of the arena, where I could simply go up the stairs just outside the fog gate and snipe Artorias from this spot right here. Go ahead and subscribe. Come on, I know you want to. Back in the Chasm of the Abyss, if you look down the pit just outside Manus Foggate, you'll notice that you can see him all the way down there. So, with the Hawk Ring and Red Tearstone Ring equipped, and the power of friendship, I free aim the clueless beast to death. I then picked up the Crest Key as well as Dark Bead. I think the more expert viewers here already know where I'm going with this. So, where the hell is that dragon everybody is so scared? I then witnessed a blind giant perform a 360 no-scope Modern Warfare 2 style shot against Calmi, went all the way to Sense Fortress to free Logan and pick up the soul of a hero, met Logan back in Firelink and bought all of his spells, met him back in the archives, and then found him naked in Sif's room for some reason. I don't want to know what he was doing in there. So I had to put the poor thing down for his own good, obtaining this way his catalyst, which is also the strongest in the game. I then went back to Calamit's arena, equipped the Red Tearstone Ring, used Power Within, and 3-shotted the mighty dragon with Dark Bead. Again, I know you can one-shot him with Firestorm, but I killed the Bat of Chaos before I had the chance of speaking to Quilana, because, yeah, I'm stupid. I used the same strategy on the Stray Demon, and while in the Northern Asylum, I picked up the doll, I then killed the Gaping Dragon, and threw my poo at Priscilla until she died in utter disgust. I used the Fog Ring and Slumbering Ring, just like in the Nido fight for this one as well. I visited the old lady merchant, hello beautiful, and purchased 999 poison arrows, which I used to poison Gwendolyn to death from a distance.
Oh, heretic, swathed in dark, an eternal curse upon thee.
And it was now time to finally fulfill my destiny. Once I entered Gwyn's arena, I jumped over this ledge and started unloading my fire arrows onto him. He can still occasionally hit you with certain moves, and he can come up to your position, but fortunately RNGesus was on my side, and in no time Gwyn died like a fool. Alright guys, thank you all for tuning in. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm doing a challenge for Bloodborne next, so ring that damn bell if you don't want to miss it. And have a fantastic week, everybody, and I will see you in the next one.